Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Phantom Knight deck profile. So I'm really excited for this one because this deck actually got some amazing new support in Phantom Rage, which is the new core booster set that basically has the Phantom Knight new boss monster as the cover card on the very front with the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, which is an amazing new boss monster that can get well over 10,000 attack points on your turn to be able to OTK your opponent with the greatest of ease. So, without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below because we got some awesome rewards you guys, like getting your name description for every single video, getting a signed card sent in the mail, or even getting to request a deck profile every single month that you're a patron, along with test hands. So, without further ado, guys, let's get straight on into this. So, first off, we are going to be playing 3 copies of the Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak. So Ancient Cloak is a really awesome card in this deck. You can, while it's on the field, you can change it to defense position to target a dark monster on your side of the field. And you can make that dark monster gain 800 attack. But all of your Phantom Knights are ghosts. So where do they benefit the most? In the graveyard. So what the Phantom Knight of Ancient Cloak's graveyard effect is that you can banish from your graveyard to add any the Phantom Knight card from your deck to your hand. Now, important fact about this card is that you can only add cards that say the Phantom Knight, not just Phantom Knight. We then play 3 copies of the Phantom Knight of Silent Boots. Now, Silent Boots is a really neat card in this deck too, because what this card does is it lets you banish it from the graveyard to be able to add any Phantom Knight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And it also has the ability to control another Phantom Knight, then you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a really cool effect, but only once per turn. And as long as you control a different Phantom Knight other than Silent Booties. We then play 2 copies of the Phantom Knight of Ragged Gloves. Ragged Gloves lets you banish from the graveyard, send any Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, and also, if it's used to Xyz summon a Dark Xyz monster, that monster gains 1,000 attack. We then play 3 copies of the Phantom Knight of Torn Scales. Now, yes, I am proxying these. If you guys want to see how to make proxies, I will have down in the pinned comment how you guys can make those proxies. They're really easy to make, and I'm actually one of the most viewed versions of how to make the proxies because they look so realistic. Depends on what kind of printer you use, depends on how good they look. But what this card does is you can discard 1 card to send a Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, which is an amazing effect to basically have a Armageddon Knight in archetype. It also has the ability that if this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field when another Phantom Knight is banished from your graveyard, which is an amazing effect. But I really wanted to get this deck out to you guys, which is why I went ahead and proxied these 3 cards. We then play a single copy of the Phantom Knight of Stained Greaves. Yes, I did proxy this one too, but again, I wanted to get this deck profile out to you guys as quick as possible. What this card does is if the Phantom Knight monsters is special summoned to the field except another copy of itself, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then you can increase the level of this card by 1. You manage this card from your graveyard to special summon a Phantom Knight monster in your hand, and then increase that monster's level by 1. This card works really well with your copy of Shade Brigandine because this card right here helps you out get another level 4 on your side of the field so you can go into your Raiders Knight. We then play 2 copies of Kagemusha Knight. Kagemusha Knight is an insanely good card in this deck because if you normal summon a level 3 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but it can't be used as synchro material, which is totally fine because we don't play any monsters that are synchro. We don't play any synchro monsters, so it's totally fine. We then play 3 copies of Tour Guide of the Underworld. So Tour Guide is a really, really good card in this deck. When she's normal summon, you can special summon a level 3 Fiend monster from your deck, which is an amazing effect just to be able to special summon a Fiend monster directly from the deck, because she's going to help you get into your rank 3 plays and your XZ plays for your rank 3s, and also Link plays as well. We then play 2 copies of Seer Malebranche of the Burning Abyss. Seer Malebranche of the Burning Abyss is a really good card in this deck. You don't play a lot of Burning Abyss cards in this deck. You just play the 2 Seer and 2 Graph. But basically what this card does is it does the exact same thing. All your Malebranche monsters do the exact same thing as the other Malebranche monsters, except they have a 1 bonus effect. If you control any other monster that is not a Burning Abyss, they instantly destroy themselves. They also have the ability that if you control no spells or traps, you can special summon them from your hand for free. Or you can, if this card is sent to the graveyard, target 1 Burning Abyss monster in your graveyard except another copy of itself and special summon that. Now, Graph does the exact same thing as Seer, except it has the ability, instead of special summoning from graveyard, it special summons from deck, which is super helpful to be able to get your copies of Seer out of the deck, because the old school Duelist Alliance combo was to special summon out your copy of Graph, and then use Graph to special summon out Seer, and then Seer would recover Graph, essentially getting you 3 materials for a monster. We then play a single copy of Danger Noodle. I always call this card Danger Noodle. What this card does is you can reveal it in your hand, which all dangers share the ability that you reveal it in your hand. Your opponent randomly picks a card in your hand, and if it's not the danger that they picked, then you get to special summon this card plus get a bonus effect. This one doesn't have any real bonus effects except drawing a card. All the dangers let you draw the card if they didn't pick it, but it also has the ability that if it's the card that they did pick and it gets discarded to the graveyard, then you get to special summon this card to your side of the field. Now, Danger Jackalope, if it's discarded to the graveyard, then you get to special summon a danger monster from the deck, which is always your copy of the Danger Noodle. We then play one copy of Psychic Wielder. Psychic Wielder comes in super handy in this deck because the Psychic Wielder can special summon itself to your side of the field if you control another level 3 monster. It is a tuner monster, but that's not that big of a deal for this deck. We then play a single copy of Psychic Tracer. You can play this card in the deck too. It helps you get out a couple of rank 3 plays. If you control level 3 monster, you just instantly summon it to your side of the field. And then we play 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit for the 3 hand traps in this deck. So the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit come in super handy in this deck because they have the ability that you can send them from the field to the graveyard. If an opponent's monster's effect is activated, you can destroy that monster, which is really helpful just to be able to get monsters off your opponent's side of the field. This card is super helpful and also really helpful with a combo piece in this deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're only playing 4 spells in this deck. And then as a single copy of Reinforcements of the Army, because you play so many warrior monsters in this deck. This card is ridiculously easy to go off with and be able to add literally any Phantom Knight from your deck to your hand. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. You can never have enough Foolish Burials in this deck. We already play a bunch of them in the main deck, and all of your Phantom Knights benefit off of being in the graveyard. 1 copy of Rank Up Magic Phantom Knight's Force. This card is really good to get out onto your side of the field and is an amazing card just to be able to special summon out your Xyz monsters. Now during your main phase, you can banish any number of dark monsters from your graveyard and then target a dark Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck 1 the Phantom Knight, Raid Raptor, or Xyz monster that is the same ranks higher than the monsters you banished. So for example, if you have a 3 on your side of the field, a rank 3, you can banish 2 dark monsters from your graveyard and then special summon a rank 5 from your extra deck using that monster's material and transferring the materials over to that monster. We then play a single copy of Emergency Teleport. Emergency Teleport lets you special summon 1 level 3 or lower psychic monster from your deck, which you play 5 targets for. You play the 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit and the single copy of Psychic Tracer and single copy of Psychic Wielder in the main deck to be able to special summon those monsters onto your side of the field, use them as rank 3 plays, or have a walking hand trap on your side of the field. So that's it for the spells, guys. Not very many spells in a Phantom Knight deck at all. So for the traps, where the deck starts to really excel, we play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is basically like Effect Veiler, but on diesel fuel. This card's really good in this deck too. It's a really awesome effect to be able to target a face-up monster opponent controls, negate the effect of that monster. And if you don't control any monsters, then you can activate this card directly from your hand to instantly negate something, which is super helpful. 1 copy of Shade Brigandine. If you don't have a trap in your graveyard, you can activate this card, special summon it to your side of the field as a level 4. You can activate it the same turn it's set if you don't have a trap in the graveyard. 1 copy of the Phantom Knight Sword. This card is kind of like an equip spell, but an equipped trap. You target a face-up monster on your field, it gains 800 attack. Then all your Phantom Knight traps share the ability that you can banish them from the graveyard, special summon a Phantom Knight from your graveyard, but you can only activate their effects once per turn. Then we play 3 copies of the best card in the entire deck, and that is 3 copies of the Phantom Knights of Fogblade. This card's like Fiendish Chain, except it has some really cool added bonuses. It shares the ability of the Phantom Knight Sword that it makes it so your opponent cannot, or you can banish from your graveyard to be able to special summon a Phantom Knight monster from your graveyard, which is super helpful. And it also has some really cool effects as well that lets you activate this card to target 1 effect monster on the field and negate that monster's effects. And then that face-up monster can't attack either, but it also can't be targeted for attacks. But it's not that big of a deal because usually you're just going to pop it with a break sword and then pop the opponent's monster that is targeted as well. And then you can banish from the graveyard to be able to bring back one of your Phantom Knight monsters. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing some really cool cards. We're going to be playing the freshly-ish unbanned one of Phantom Knights of Rusty Barguige. What this card does is it lets you, during your main phase, send 1 Phantom Knight monster, just 1 Phantom Knight monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then you get to set a Phantom Knight spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard. And this card's really, really good because it lets you send your copy of Silent Boots to the graveyard to be able to then set a Fog Blade, and then the copy of Silent Boots can banish itself to set a second copy of Fog Blade to your side of the field, essentially giving you 2 negations off of 1 Link Summon, which is really good. 1 copy of Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is really good because it helps you get additional pops on your side of the field, and you play a bunch of different attributes in this deck anyways, so it's really easy to just go off with your copy of Access Code Talker. Nightmare Unicorn as a 1-of. This card's really good to help spin cards on your opponent's side of the field. Nightmare Phoenix, again, pop spells and traps. IP Masquerena, because you can go into Unicorn during your opponent's turn, which is really helpful for this deck. Cherubini, which is the best, probably Link monster besides your copy of Rusty Bardies. I felt the comment section lighting up for that one. But Cherubini is really good because it helps you Link summon in this card, and it also protects your Malabranches so they don't destroy themselves if they're in a zone that the Cherubini, Angel of the Burning Abyss, points to, which is really good to be able to kind of keep them on your side of the field. It's really, really helpful. We then play a single copy of the best dragon, and that is an Xyz. That is Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. So Dark Rebellion, it lets you detach 2 materials, target a monster on your opponent's side of the field, reduce that monster's attack by half, and then this card gains the attack that it lost. Then we play its upgraded counterpart, which is a single copy of Dark Requiem, which is a good counter monster to be able to give you additional negation on your side of the field, because it has the ability that during either player's turn, when an opponent activates a monster's effect, you can detach a material from this card, negate that monster, and if you do, destroy that card, then you can special summon an Xyz monster from your graveyard, which can be Dark Rebellion, that you just detach to activate its effect, because it has to have Dark Rebellion on it to be able to resolve that effect. It also has a really cool effect that lets you, once per turn, detach a material from this card, target face a monster opponent controls, reduces attack to 0, and then this card gains attack equal to the amount it lost. Then we play the new OTK Maker, which is a single copy of Arc Rebellion. Arc Rebellion is insanely good. This card gains attack equal to all the monsters on the field, which is insanely good, and it can't be destroyed by card effects as well. You detach a material from this card, and it gains the attack of every single monster on the field, and if it has a Dark Xyz monster as a material on this card, it negates the effects of all face of monsters on the field as well. And after this effect resolves, only this card can attack. We then play a single copy of AA Zeus, which is actually Divine Thunder or Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. But AA Zeus is a really good card. You basically use it to board wipe. It's kind of like an Xyz version of Black Rose. 1 copy of Raider's Knight. Raider's Knight's really good too. Again, I proxied these 3 for you guys because I really wanted to get this deck out to you guys as soon as possible, but I'm still waiting on my cards to come in the mail. They will be coming in the mail very soon, but I really wanted to get this one out for you guys, so I went ahead and just made proxies. Don't use these in tournaments, guys. Casual, for fun, playtesting like this, deck profiles, they're fine. Don't carry them to a tournament. But what this card does is you can detach a material from this card, special summon 1 extra deck monster from your extra deck, 1 Phantom Knight, Xyz, or Raid Raptor monster that's 1 rank higher than this, which is your 2 copies of your Arc Rebellion. That's really the only effect that you really need on this card. 2 copies of Break Sword, which helps you get popped on the field, which is super helpful to be able to pop up a card on your side of the field and pop a card on your opponent's side of the field. But if you destroy your copy of Break Sword, it lets you special summon 2 of your Phantom Knight monsters from the graveyard and increase your level by 1, going to 4, which lets you go into your copy of Raider's Knight or Dark Rebellion, which is really cool. We then play 2 copies of Sea Dragon, or Leveneer the Sea Dragon. Leveneer the Sea Dragon comes in super helpful as well. This card is ridiculously good in this deck too, because what it does is just super helpful to be able to detach a material from this card, then target 1 banished level 4 lower monster and special summon that target to your side of the field. Really, really helpful to be able to help you go into all sorts of crazy plays, to be able to just get you basically an Xyz monster on the field for 1 monster. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really, really fun deck to play around with. I highly recommend that you guys give Phantom Knights a try out of the new set Phantom Rage. With all the really new cards, really awesome new cards that came out from the new set, I am really excited to show you guys this, and I am really excited to start getting my cards in the mail to be able to actually play with this deck and carry it to maybe a tournament or even do some live duels with it. I'm going to try and do some live duels, maybe some test hands in the future of this particular deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely check out that Patreon down in the description below, and definitely don't forget to hit that bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.